tell you 6 data security strategies to accelerate your digital transformation journey. For that, we have Shri Zubin Dalal, a Director, Product Management, Seclore with us. Zubin is Director Product Management at Seclore Technology and heads the product management functions at Seclore. He takes the responsibility for the Seclore data-centric security product strategy and understanding customer and make market requirements. While managing the roadmap, customer experience, and product communication, he is primarily focused on ensuring the rights management technology delivers positive business outcome for customers. Over to you, Zubin.
Thank you, Pragya. I'm hoping you're able to hear me well.
Absolutely clear, Zubin.
Okay. And you're able to see my screen as well?
Clearly.
Okay, so welcome to everybody for this session. It's been thoroughly and insightful and exciting, day of learning, even for me so far. This journey of digital transformation, we always talk of it as a journey, and something that hit me. I would like to just help you as you embark on this journey. For example, just a look back, a few years back, I wanted to travel to a European country to do some adventure and sightseeing. And as I embarked on that journey, I went to typical web, some URLs, visited some YouTube videos to see what are the best places to see, when or what time of the year, etc. And then I happened to stumble upon a video of someone who had put up about how you need to be careful, and you might get pickpocketed, and about thefts and about losing your belongings. And that was quite a surprise to me that that kind of thing happens even in the world's leading European countries. And it was such a big wake-up call to me. And luckily, I happened to stumble upon it. I learned from those couple of resources, and I made sure that I followed, kept my wallet and money and my travel documents very safely and securely, and specific places that they had mentioned where things happen. I was very careful, and I was always on the lookout. So that's the kind of thing that we kind of need to remember when we take a journey. It's often we focus on the adventure and the excitement of getting there and the goal, and sometimes we forget about the hurdles or the issues that might hit us unknowingly. And the best preparation that we have, the easier and the smooth the journey becomes. So just as we are embarking on this digital transformation journey, I wanted to just keep everybody informed about what they can hope to uh, encounter as hurdles, and how very easily they can address those with a certain approach or mechanics that are possible. I mean, there are also digital solutions for the digital transformation issues. I think cybersecurity and data security in general has been a big point of Q&A also. So I hope I can quickly address some of these challenges. Very often when it comes to data security, the first thing that kind of needs to be kept in mind is what is at core of the business and is in digital format. So there is a lot of digital intellectual property. Maybe it is invention, maybe it is design, it is certain patents, it could be recipes for certain chemicals or certain processes, or guidelines, or manufacturing standards that are honed over so many years, and so much experience of having executed so many projects. And these are kind of crown jewels of your enterprise. They are what your business is all about. And if you don't take care of them, if those digital assets are not equally given the right value and importance, you might end up losing it to a competition, or it might get leaked out and get misused, right? These are digital assets. Sometimes mostly they are not tangible, but they are as important, if not more important, than your physical assets. So that's one thing that, would be very helpful if you keep in mind that these digital assets are very critical. They are what keeps your business running, and they need to be given due importance and need to be addressed in terms of security and protection, right? So you can, identify. The good thing about these digital assets is they're, structured, they're limited, they're in a specific team or project or, location. They're usually given enough importance so it is easy to identify them. Not always for all other kinds of data. You can easily find them, identify who needs access to them, encrypt these digital assets at the source itself. So if it's a file server, you can protect the file server and all the documents on that server, or a folder on that server. If it's a web application system that houses your knowledge repository, you can secure that. You can ensure that you apply persistent controls that travel with the data. You can further apply, even if these are sometimes a 400-page PDF document of how a machinery specifically works or how a process has been automated, might be worth millions of dollars, right? So you can apply specific controls on who can open it, edit it, print it, copy it. You can restrict everything other than what a user needs to be able to handle that information. And then you can automate this whole thing so that it becomes very easy. Every file that lands in a particular folder can be automatically protected. Every document that is checked out of a SharePoint library can be automatically protected. Everything coming out of a bespoke knowledge repository or application that you use today for saving these assets can be automatically secured at the source itself, right? It's a very simple one to protect, but it just needs to be identified, highlighted, and addressed. The other big asset, and customer data is always considered to be an asset, right? You should know your customer, you mine your customer data, especially banks and financial services that are very heavy on large customer data sets. This is a very key asset, but in my mind, I also consider it a liability, because you have to ensure that it remains safe, it remains secure, it cannot be misused. If any leakage of that data leads to immediate mistrust, loss of reputation. Today in the digital world, rumors and reputation can be easily lost in the fraction of a few days. So sniff your customer data, find the repositories of where it resides, automatically encrypt it. There are lots of tools. The hard thing about customer data is that it's always in so many different places. Often it's on desktops. People have reports lying around. People have access to reports in your transaction or operational system. The biggest challenge of it is finding it and making sure that you have control over it. So there are many tools in this space that can help you find it, and a data-centric security tool that can help you secure it. Even while data is being shared, it can be easily secured and limited to specific users having access only. You can protect data going outside the enterprise, even if it is going over a web interface or an email or any other mechanism. Often, businesses rely on third parties for a large part of their supply chain or their services, and there is no option but to share critical information with these third parties and external partners and vendors. That's how most businesses run. You can't have everything done in-house. You have to outsource certain amounts of expertise, use external vendors and partners for projects that you need to do one-off. And typically with projects and contracts, they are good to, NDAs and contracts are good to some extent, but really they are not very effective for data security. You will not even know if data has got leaked out. It may be malicious, it may be accidental. You have no control over the data if your data is lying at a third party, a network. and it seems kind of helpless in a way. But that's usually because the data security thought process is addressed with a very traditional approach, right? Where data is kept in a very secure location, and then you control who all have access to it. That's a very traditional approach to data centric to data security. But there are new ways of doing it, and we call them data centric security, where the security goes with the data. Wherever the document or data or file travels, the data, the security goes with it, right? And it is persistent. So whenever it is being accessed, opened, it continues to secure the information and restrict who is opening it, what they're doing, and how long they have access to it. So you can send data to your partners, vendors, external collaborators. You can ensure that they can, open it, edit it, but not print it, not take copies of it. Even if they, are seeing the file open on their digital device, it will show a watermark so that, it tells nobody can take a screenshot or a mobile phone capture and just paste it somewhere. It will tell who has used that, who has opened it on what device, etc. Right? You can useful feature is you can expire that data. You can share it with a vendor who you are tying up with for a temporary contract or project basis, and then retract that information, revoke that information completely. So not only are you controlling authorized user access, but you're also controlling what they can do with it, right? So this is a very powerful, idea and concept, and it's something that is now possible with very traditional security approach, kind of throwing their hands up. They usually, don't have very good answers to this. The fourth thing that I'd like you to keep in mind is, there is a lot of security and around enterprise applications, right? They have transaction systems, CRM systems, operational systems of all kinds and all sorts where data resides. And it is quite well addressed in terms of security. Web-based tools, thick client tools, databases, backend, all that is very well secure. One of the things that often gets missed out is the data that gets downloaded from these systems. The data is very secure in the system. A report, of your customer information or your operational metrics is very secure when it is sitting inside the system. As soon as you click that download link to get that report out, right? Because usually you take that data and then massage it or analyze it or, tweak it in Excel and create a slide deck out of it, right? To create a report. That downloaded information suddenly has no security control, right? The traditional approach says that don't allow such downloads. They are a source of leakage, don't allow it. But that's not always feasible, right? You have to work with data. You want to use the data as an asset, and it needs to be analyzed, massaged, all of that. So one of the things that you can do with data-centric security is you can apply the protection even on the downloaded information. You can apply the same controls that are there in the application. So if you have a inventory report in the application, that same inventory report, once it is downloaded, only the people who have access to that in the application will have access to the downloaded report as well. If you take somebody and move him to another team, he's not supposed to have access to that report, he will automatically be removed from the downloaded report as well, right? So this technology can help you extend your application controls to the data that resides outside the application as well. This is very powerful, right? You can revoke access. It will happen automatically when people's job responsibilities change, when they move from one project to another. Maybe they're working on a very top secret project and they're, then reassigned after some time. Automatically, any hundreds of data that is downloaded can be immediately revoked automatically, because whatever are the permissions in the application are carried forward to the downloaded information as well. You can track your information after it is accessed, after it is downloaded. You can track both authorized, unauthorized access, any misuse, etc. can be tracked. You will know who is opening, who's editing, who's trying to print, all of these things on that information that resides outside the system. Right. So that's a very powerful capability as well. Sometimes we often forget that the number one digital transformation tool has always been what? Email, right? Every employee in every organization is given an email because digital communication is by far the fastest, cheapest, most agile way of doing it. Nobody writes, things on physical paper anymore. Everything is sent via email. Every individual in an organization, from the CEO to the lowest level machine operator, tends to have email ID. And it's a big asset because communication is fast, easy, fluid. But again, like with everything that's uh, high speed mechanism, it also is privy to attacks, frauds, data leakage. A lot of focus around email security, is the concern of people in this space. While phishing, malware, all that is well addressed. Often one thing that is missed is the data that is being transferred on those emails, right? The attachments or the messages itself or the approval metrics that have been given in that email communication is itself often missed out. And that's where this security can help. You can protect your emails for internal sharing so that people are not misusing data that they have privy to and sending it to their friends in other departments or teams. You can use it to automatically protect data going outside the organization to any untrusted domain. You can protect it and send it, not just block it, but also protect it and send it. You get a true revoke button, right? How many times have you sent an email and just after you press the send button, you realize, oh, this is the wrong person and I should not have included him in the list, right? Where with this technology, you can now have a true revoke button. You can remove access of a specific user without disturbing anybody else, right? And not be dependent on limited capabilities that today your Outlook or your email system provides. And most powerful is the track feature. You can actually see who is accessing your emails, what they're doing with it, who has not accessed, right? Are they trying to edit it, print it? Are they trying to do something they're not supposed to do? They're not given permission to do all of that. The last one I'd come to is, of course, regulatory compliance. So most enterprises today are liable to one or the other security or privacy compliance. We have heard about this personal data protection bill that is coming to India very soon. It has been in the works for a while. Without getting into any details, I would say that it puts, if that bill is passed in Parliament, and they're threatening that they will do it towards the end of this year, it will bring Indian privacy laws at the same level as the European Union. And nobody, has any doubt that the European Union has the strictest privacy regulations, right? Much more than anywhere else, even in the Western world, right? And we will be at the same level of privacy. Every organization, every enterprise will be, subject to that regulation. Even today, for financial services and for banks, RBI has some very, very strict mandates, and ensuring that your customer data, your business data is addressed in terms of any regulatory compliance issues is very critical. Especially when you collect KYC data of your customers. Financial services again are the more exposed to this. When you're working with any government or federal agencies, you need to be very clear and very cautious of what you classify the data as. And this technology can also allow you to automatically protect it, apply controls, who can have access. You can put controls on stuff going to your external partners. So if you are legally liable, you can still control the data even though you have no control over their environment or their ecosystem or their digital applications, right? Because you control what anyone has access to on your data, right? So those are the quick, 6 things that I'd like you to keep you in mind as you undertake this journey. So wish you all the very best. And here's a quick summary. Protect your digital intellectual property. Secure your customer data. They are your primary assets. Protect your data shared with partners. Don't forget information that is going outside the organization that you're still liable to secure and protect. Secure your application data downloads, especially the downloaded data that is often forgotten. Secure your emails, protect email attachments, email messages. They're your primary backbone of communication. You could actually reduce your risk tremendously if you just address this one communication vector, and ensure that you're well ahead of any security and privacy compliance or regulatory compliance metrics that are specific to your vertical or generically applicable. We have a full-fledged data-centric security platform that helps you to secure all kinds of documents and digital files. It integrates with several other technologies in the space out there. I won't get into all these details. We can walk you through the platform subsequently if you'd like to connect with us. Just to let you know, we are a 100% Indian company incubated in the IIT, and we can get in touch with us anytime. We'll be sharing our details with you as well. There's a handout that is available, so feel free to go through that to answer any further details. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Feel free to add any questions.
There are questions. So the one we will take, you talked about various security aspects and GDPR and other things. So one gentleman is asking how Seclore is working with government sector.
So we have our customer base is very horizontal, from manufacturing, financial services, banks, government entities. We have several government entities as our current customer base. So RBI, Central Board of Direct Taxation, the Indian Navy and Defense Services are also our customers. We work with Central Bank of India, Oriental Insurance Company, several such PSUs are our and government and federal agencies also are our customers.
Okay, Zubin. There are a few questions we can take off the record because we are already running.
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. Sure.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Today, and we can move to our next